kidnapping, extortion, and even murder are common among the organization's members. This will make us curious to know how criminals react to their life sentences. Have you ever seen suspects reacting to their life sentences? Here are a few clips of kidnappers reacting to their life sentences. Let's get started. Number 1. Granville Ritchie. Granville Ritchie murdered 9-year-old Felicia Williams. In an attempt to shield herself, Wiley assisted in the cover-up when Ritchie abducted, tortured, and killed the child. On Ritchie's trial, she testified that she had lied to investigators when they were looking into the case. During the trial, the victim's parents got emotional, which made the judge cry in court. After being found guilty in 2019 of both child rape and murder, Ritchie was given the death penalty by a jury in September 2020. Granville surprisingly went for an appeal. But although the Florida Supreme Court denied his request, he requested police data and papers from other agencies in his most recent state court appeal. In an attempt to obtain a second opportunity through an appeal, he also looked for any legal mistakes. Finally, over all his requests, he got sentenced to death. What do you feel about the criminal's reaction? Number 2. Darnell Booth. As the court read the charge against Darnell Booth, 34, during his arraignment, the Uber driver who is suspected of raping a 16-year-old girl fell to the ground and started crying. Everett police took Darnell Booth, a resident of Dorchester, into custody. He was detained without bond after it was alleged that on July 5th, he had sexually assaulted the girl in an empty parking lot. According to the prosecution, he met the girl for the first time on June 30th when she called for an Uber from Melrose to Everett. They claimed that after that, Booth added her on Snapchat and started corresponding with her. Prosecutors claim that Booth has a lengthy criminal past. He has a dangerous hearing coming up in court. Number 3. Ariel Castro. Castro approached 32-year-old Knight, the first of the 3 women abducted, while she was asking for directions at a store and offered to give her a ride. On April 21, 2003, 8 months later, Castro singled out Amanda Berry and offered to drive her home from her Burger King job. Berry was introduced to Castro's daughter so she could speak with him, and Castro took her to his home. 3 victims under him were suffering due to his sexual assault over 10 years. Ariel Castro maintained that the intercourse he had with his 3 victims was consensual and that he was not a violent predator throughout his 2013 sentence hearing. Can you believe it? On the other hand, his reactions and the response towards the sentencing were something that he was trying to justify himself. He denied ever having raped Michelle Knight, Gina DeJesus, and Amanda Berry. Castro apologized for his acts during a 20-minute address, claiming that they were the result of sexual abuse he had as a youngster. He said that his addiction to pornography affected his ability to regulate his behavior. What do you feel about this case? Number 4. Lawrence G. Nassar. Ever seen a suspect crying during his sentencing? The former medical coach of the American gymnastics team, Lawrence G. Nassar, was sentenced to 175 years in prison for sexual offenses. Over a week-long series of victim impact statements, young women and teenagers recounted how, as ambitious athletes, they were sent to Dr. Nassar at his house, the Michigan State University Clinic, gyms, and gymnastics camps. He mistreated athletes for decades while posing as a medical professional. In 2016, a slew of investigative reports by the Indianapolis Star brought the abuse to the public's attention. He faced 22 counts of first-degree criminal sexual behavior with minors when he was indicted in 2016. He entered guilty pleas to state and federal counts of first-degree sexual assault and child pornography in 2017 and 2018, respectively. He received a sentence of 80 to 300 years in addition to 60 years in prison. During his sentencing, the suspect was crying due to guilt. What do you feel about this? Number 5. John Acklin. According to the district attorney, a Columbia County jury found John Acklin, 56, of Bandera, Texas, formerly of Livingston, guilty on Friday, August 9th, of 1 count of course of sexual conduct against a child, 10 counts of criminal sexual act, 1 count of aggravated sexual abuse in the first degree, and 4 counts of aggravated sexual abuse in the second degree. According to the authorities, the assaults took place in the town of Livingston between December 2004 and March 2006, and the youngsters were under 11 at the time. State police claim that after Acklin relocated to Texas, the abuse stopped. Number 6. Terry McFadden. A Grandview in-home daycare provider was found guilty of sexually assaulting 2 girls, aged 4 and 6, and was given a 22-year jail sentence. The 70-year-old Terry McFadden entered a guilty plea to the 2 first-degree felony counts. The victim's mother said in a statement that McFadden's actions altered her children's identities in court. According to authorities, other youngsters had been taken out of the house for their welfare prior to his arrest. In addition, McFadden must register as a Tier 3 sexual offender. Terry J. McFadden entered a guilty plea in January on 2 counts of rape related to the attacks on the sisters, who were 4 and 6 years old at the time they told their parents about the abuse in April 2019. Following the victims' parents' in-depth court remarks, Franklin County Common Pleas Judge Julie M. Lynch handed down the sentence. Number 7. Port Huron. In Wayne County, a guy from Port Huron is accused of kidnapping, wrongful confinement, and criminal sexual behavior. The 46-year-old Anthony Thornton is being jailed on a $100,000 cash bond after being charged in Wayne County's 36th District Court. His initial assessment is scheduled for February 7th. The incidents in 2010 and 2011 provide the basis for the charges. In both cases, police gathered rape kits. However, Wayne County did not process them right away. Police in Port Huron arrested Thornton in 2014 on suspicion of aggravated indecent exposure. If you liked this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell icon to not miss out on any video and to get notifications on time.